Merry Christmas, everyone, from David at Control Chaos. May you have gotten the greatest gifts, the best of booze, and may it be fucking peaceful, because the holidays suck for some of us. Peace.
It's quick, simple, and straight to the point. Merry Christmas to everybody from Control Chaos. Hope you guys enjoyed the My Hero Academia review because it was godly. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat food. Watching out.
Hello, it's Red here. Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or other. Gotta cover all the bases. Thank you so much, as always, for being a part of this channel. Thank you for those who've stuck with it. You know, scheduling goes up to down, up to down. We just kind of live life well running this channel. It's a miracle we've continued. My New Year's resolution going forward is to make the scheduling better and better. You know, I want to make sure things are out on time. I want to get more, like, fun filler content in between out, you know, more tier lists, more offhand discussions. I'm thinking about doing some sort of, like, top moments of all the decade thing, kind of like Nux Taku uploaded today. Sorry, I'm a little sick. Seems like I'm always sick. But so that's going forward. You're going to be trying to bring new stuff to the table. We want to eventually, potentially, if I like it, bring Jujutsu Kaisen reviews, because I know Thurman really wants me to breed that. He's trying to get me to finish Black Clover, and, you know, if I think we can make content out of it, we might do that. But all I need to know is, going forward, we're going to be trying to add more and more stuff to the channel. We're going to improve. We're going to try. Eventually, I want to get past just the little static art images and, like, do something that's a lot more fun to look at, be it some Joy Boy shit, where it's, like, you know, at least some moving pictures, or maybe if we get good enough technology, our faces. I don't know. But we're all going to try to improve this channel more and more as a thanks for you being here, because we want to keep growing it, etc., etc. I love you all. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the things. And if you liked that Naruto reference in the beginning, do yourself a favor and read some objectively better series. Bye!
Hey guys, it's Utana DMA, but you can just call me Utana. I'm the channel artist. Yay! It's been a whole year since I did a Christmas thing with you guys. This is weird because you're not really my audience, but also I talk to you as if you are, which is kind of weird, but in a lot of ways it's okay. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and literally every other holiday that's happening this month, because you know I can't list them all. I'm too stupid. But this year's been a trip. The last time I did one of these was last Christmas, I guess, and I've had a lot of improvements in my stuff, and so have they. They meaning the people who run this channel. I will say they're very passionate people about what they want to do here. And even if it's just a small step, then it's gonna lead to a big leap at one point. One small step for man and one giant leap for mankind, I guess. But everybody starts small, because I used to remember when these guys used to have their channel have less subscribers than me. And my account's pretty much dead at this point. So that was a big achievement when they managed to do that. And I gotta say, they are tapping into the right content to do that, as well as they record every Friday and they make sure they get it out as soon as they're done, and they fit the algorithm and what they're doing. And I just gotta say, congratulations. You surpassed me. The students surpassed the master. Haha, I was never a master. But thanks for making them get this far, guys. They probably wouldn't have been able to without you. But Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Also follow me on Twitch.
My Hero Academia! Okay, no, I just think this is good because we needed more character development for Eraserhead, Ayazawa. And I know that in Vigilantes you got some, and I'm going to read that eventually. But, this series of chapters has made me love Eraserhead. I'm just going to call him Ayazawa a lot more. It's just cool to see, this side of him, this actually emotional side of him. And their friend group is just so real to me. I love it. You have, the normal-ish one, the wacky one, and then Ayazawa's the one that's, kind of being always dragged everywhere, you know? He's, a sane version of Sasuke, you know, a more normal person. He's just kind of quiet.
Just like I said, consistency.
Yeah, he's just quiet. He's just a dude that, just kind of wanted to be left alone, but he had, like, really, I don't know, just nice friends that kind of brought the best out of him. You see, and we were talking about the goggles. The goggle thing happens. We see how he gets goggles. It was from this guy. It's just kind of nice. I enjoyed this. And it's sad because also the art, my God. Like, can we talk about the page 4 or 5 art here? When Horikoshi wants to fucking flex with the art, my God, does he?
Did you see what I put on Twitter? What I retweeted on Twitter? About my someone put there's some chapters where
it's a canvas, yeah.
Here, instead of Hirikoshi is drawing a manga, he's writing a canvas.
Oh yeah, it's like he's like a fucking painting. It's beautiful. I wonder if he did that with like charcoal or something.
I think it's interesting. So I want to talk about it a little bit. So I'm interested about how. So Aizawa was able to break through. That's good. I wasn't expecting them to break through this soon. I'm going to be real. I must be pessimistic because I was literally expecting him to fail.
Well, to be fair, they spent an entire chapter was him breaking through. Like, now, I was lucky. I actually binged the last 2 chapters just now.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because that last chapter was short. Like, I would have been right there with you. Like, nothing fucking the entire chapter was just him talking to him, and I was like, ooh. The pacing's that's the main thing about My Hero that's wacky sometimes, is the pacing. But reading 2 chapters at once, it felt like a chapter.
It felt like a chapter.
When you read 2 chapters, it feels like a chapter.
That is fucking hilarious, yo. No. We're meeting that because I was shitting on the fandom. You're doing the same thing now, my guy.
I'm not shitting on the fandom. I'm shitting on the pacing.
That's
what you do in a review.
In this case, that's basically 2 sides of the same coin. Should I might hear the Demi?
Can we talk about fucking One for All and his fucking metaphor? Like, I literally love this shit. Like, first of all, he compared scouting outside around a high school where people are trained to be superheroes to digging around in the trash of a 5-star restaurant. Like, oh yeah, all the good quirks are there, so I'll just fucking wait for one of them to die and take their corpse and make a fucking Nomu out of it. So first of all, dark. Literally comparing that to digging in the trash of a restaurant. And then, one more thing. Then, him saying, it's like making wine, trampling the grapes to extract their juice. I merely wanted to keep enjoying those delightful flavors. So he had a fucking thing about, like, kind of melding a bunch of, like, oh, that's a good quirk, that's a good quirk. If I just smush these people together and make some horrifying creature, I wonder how OP of a creature I can make with this. And that's what, we've seen what he does with his quirk. Like, when he fought All Might, it's like, oh, well, I'll mix this wind quirk with this muscle quirk with this stone quirk to make, like, a crazy strong wind rock punch. Like, he has that shit down to a science. He loves to, like, all right, well, if I do this, and with a 10% of this, and a 15% of this, and that's what he does. He does it with his own body, and he does it with these kids. And now I wonder, too, if he caused the death of this friend of Aizawa's, or if that was genuinely just accidental, because they implied or just showed that it was like a building collapsing. Did he do that, or did he just like, ooh, that kid died? I'm more inclined to believe that he did that, because it seems like he scouts out, like, ooh, I like that quirk. Let me just make that kid die in a tragic accident real quick. Yeah, fucked up. This guy is just like when he was like, haha, I did that thing just to piss you off, All Might. That seems to be a thing he gets off on, saying the most fucked up thing possible to really, like, get a rise out of people.
Yeah, and it's crazy, too, because, so we see that, he broke the... To me, has it been explained how they extract the quirks from them yet? Am I being... Is that, like...
I don't remember if they've done, like, any specific explanation on that.
Because...
I think there's like a quirk factor or something, like in the DNA. Phrases are coming back to me. People that have reread the series a lot do tell in the comments. This is not one of those series that I've reread a bunch of times, like One Piece. So if we're forgetting that, let me know. I don't think that's been specifically explained.
Yeah, so
Because I'm assuming there has to be like a fresh body. Like if you like, maybe not. Well, no, who knows? But maybe it's like a fresh body of some sort, or
They gotta be fresh, like those grapes for wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. My roommate
if-
just chimed in with 5-second rule. You gotta get that
But-
child corpse while it's fresh, bro.
5-finger discount. So it's funny because if he basically looks at the fucking UA school as like a fucking
Oh, yeah.
like
Fucking outside the fence, just creeping. Like that's how you get arrested, bro. That's how you get put on a list.
yeah, like, he literally looks at them as like a bunch of cattle. That's what he does.
Oh
Like-
yeah, like ooh, because he just likes. I think he gets off at like looking at these quirks, like, oh, that's a quirk I haven't seen before. I wonder if I combined that with this, I could make this. You know what I mean? Like, and it makes sense because his quirk is to stockpile a bunch of different quirks. It is like essentially like collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards for him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that kid's got a this quirk. Ooh, that's a fire quirk, but I've never seen a fire quirk like that before. It's blue fire. Oh, this fire is a little hotter. This one's like pyromancy where you can shape the fire. Like it literally is like collecting. It's like a collection game for him. And then he wants to combine them to create different moves in this card game. Like you could use a bunch of metaphors, but that's essentially what it is for him.
So yeah, so it's just like, okay, so if he thinks of it like them a cow, right? Then that he must be like, okay, this is a kid I want. Okay, we're gonna take his quirk and his quirk and his quirk.
Yeah, set up, and he's got connections everywhere. It'd be very easy for him to be like, all right, next time he's out on like a hero, you know, like fucking internship, set something, have him get run over by a car.
So it's crazy to me because you would think that Aizawa would be a quirk he would want. So if they hung out together, why would he? Go
that could be
guy?
pretty easily explained as long as he just assuming he's gotten a quirk like that already.
Oh, probably.
Like I can't imagine Aizawa was the first person ever to have a quirk eraser quirk.
Yeah, because I mean, Aizawa is useful, but not that it has an obvious weakness.
Right, and I think it's kind of implied that like the way the vibe I'm getting is that his friend here had a pretty unique quirk because it was like something to do with like clouds, right?
Yeah, the clouds. So my thought process is like maybe because to be fair though, you could argue like, well, maybe if you combined it with like a quirk, like someone who can who can't blink or something like
yeah.
Some fucking like weird ass fucking like a video game combination, like when you're creating your character and giving them powers and shit.
Yeah,
like something like that, right?
Yeah. You could also think about it like this: if he gets too many kids, quote unquote, accidentally killed at once, that would be kind of sus. You know what I mean? Like you got to play it out safely. If all of a sudden like 5 kids die, they're going to be less likely to send them out to positions where it's easy to make their deaths look viable, right? It's kind of like in Death Note, L's biggest fuck up was killing too many people too quickly, but he wanted that. Did I say L? I meant light. But he wanted that because he wanted to be known as a god. It was kind of his ego that got to him. Whereas I imagine he had to not do it often. He had to make the deaths look very, very natural, and so even if he wanted Aizawa, maybe he couldn't have like killed both of them at once. I don't know. There's a lot of things. I assume that could be explained pretty easily, and I hope Horikoshi does.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I guess that sort of shows that Aizawa and Eraserhead are fucking have a problem with a drive
are
now.
fucking period.
Well, I'd say all that, but they have more of a drive now to stop. It kind of lit a fire in them, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so good to see this different side of Aizawa, and I love ideologies. I love learning about character ideologies. Okay, his teaching ideology, why he's so strict, makes so much sense now because he's like, listen, my friend. He always thought he was invincible. He always thought he didn't realize that death was permanent. Okay? So like he went out, he went crazy, yada yada yada, and then he fucking died, and now he's gone. So that's why he expels so many of his students, because he wants to, just a warning is not permanent enough. He needs to expel them so that they get like a death, quote unquote. Like that's a serious thing. And he wanted them to experience something like that So they realized that their actions weren't just like warning worthy, because we all know warnings are like, oh wow, you warned me, and then you go on and do the same shit. You get expelled, that really puts your ass in gear. This happened to me, bro. I failed college 2 times. Well, actually, one of the times wasn't my fault. GRCC, I ended up having to leave because my grades were so bad that they were like, nah, get the fuck out of here. Then ITT wasn't my fault. That went bankrupt. But then I went to my 3rd college, and you bet your ass I was getting all A's because I was like, not happening again, no siree. And all the warnings did not help. I got warnings time and time again. I literally took like a half a year break and then came back to GRCC. Like, okay, you had a temporary suspension because your grades were so bad, so you got to come back. And then I fucked up again. But when it was like, no, you're gone, that put my ass in gear. So he makes a good point.
Yeah, and so if he does that, right? So he does that. So I'm sorry, I have to go and look at this. So what the fuck is happening? Like, okay, well, I'm confused here. What the fuck is happening to Garaki right now? Like,
oh, dude. Well, remember, the last time we saw him, he was going in some sort of like, well, I don't know if people were like, oh, the pod was metaphorical, but he was going into some surgery operation table, and it was like, all right, you just got to be in there for insert amount of days here. I don't remember what it was. And then if you survive, you'll be like unstoppable, more powerful than All for One, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing to him. I don't know if he's like injecting a bunch of Corks into him. I don't know if he's like, they're trying to make him like a new All for One, but like, it's gonna be scary.
I'm gonna be real. When I first saw that, I was like, "Did he trick him? Like, is he actually just expanding on him just because?" Like, when I saw that, I was like, "Wow, did he actually just like fucking just trick him?" Like, he was like, "Oh, you're my next big experiment and all that shit like that." I'm like, "Wait, does this guy just like?"
The doctor ends up being like the actual surprise MVP and just kills him. No, it's dumb. No, like, I'm not really sure what's happening, and I hope we get like a more scientific explanation as to what's happening here. But like, again, I always love stuff like this in fiction where someone's like mental fortitude is so strong that they can put up with shit like this, because we've seen like from his flashback, Shigaraki, he's a little fucking psychopath, and he has this drive, this like terrifyingly strong drive to just wipe everything out, purely because of just how he was raised. And I mean, every person is a mixture of nature and nurture, right? So obviously nature, you gotta assume he was born with some sort of something going on in his head, right? But then of course the way that his dad treated him, and of course the massive, I mean, if you accidentally dissolve your own fucking family, that's probably gonna fuck your life up a little bit, right?
Everyone else was on accident.
Say what?
His dad was on purpose, but everyone else was
yeah, but I mean, you know, the doggo, though, that's the real sad one. When you go to pet your dog and it melts in your hands, it's probably going to fuck you up as a child. So, like, point being, he's got this, like, extreme sense of nihilism, like, but it's also very childish because he's like, I think the world doesn't matter, but no one else can enjoy it either. Fuck them. I want to destroy everything. Fuck it. And he's so strong in that determination, and he's so, like, because I'm sure we've all had these things where, like, we know logically it doesn't make sense, but we're so determined to get that we want it to be that way that we're like, no, fuck you, I'm doing it anyway, right? So it'll be like dumb shit for me. Like if I'm putting down a cup on a table and it like keeps falling every time, I'll take the cup and slam it down harder. Like, you are gonna stay, you fucking cup, because I'm like angry at gravity. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck you, gravity. I don't give a fuck. You're the wrong one here, not me, you know? And, like, it's that childlike rejection of reality, I think, that allows him to put up with all of this pain, because, I don't know, that's what I thought when I saw this panel, is that, like, he has such a mental fortitude because of childlike stubbornness that will never leave him. And it's that childlike stubbornnness in the body of someone that is this powerful and has the means to act on it is terrifying.
It's one of those things to where he had the ability to, it's the same thing we talked about before. He had, like, it's like if a child got, had the power of a fucking nuke. A child believes that no matter what they do, they're in the right. You have to.
I want candy, nuke.
like legitimately, a child just knows what they're doing. They don't know difference between right or
They don't know
wrong.
the consequences of their actions either.
Yeah, they think if no one tells them, like if you like, for example, let's say, did you ever cuss as a kid?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I remember the first time I cussed. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, like right, like when you cuss for the first time, right, as a kid, and your parent doesn't say anything, you'd think, oh shit, or if they laugh, it's like, oh shit, my parents are laughing, or they didn't correct me, so that must mean, I did something good, right? It's the same thing. You have to teach your kid, like, no, that's bad, because if you don't tell your kid that that's wrong, then
Right, and that's a good point that you bring up because, like, he had this father that, disciplined him but too far. He would, like, hit him even when he did nothing wrong. And then after he, murders his father, that's, like, the biggest sense of euphoria in his life. Because imagine you're a kid, like a 10-year-old, and you have, like, an abusive father that's, like, hitting you or, like, just, like, literally, like, because, I mean, I never had it that bad, but I know how it feels to be, like, you trying to be as quiet as possible because if you're too loud, your dad might cuss at you or fucking like slam on the ground or something. Like you get this like jumpy like fear at the sight of your father, right? And I imagine it's got to be even worse if they're like hitting you, right? So like imagine though, because the one thing that me and you will never realize, like understand, like Shigaraki does, is the feeling of being able to do something about it, right? Because when you're a kid, you're powerless. You can't do shit against your father, right? But like Shigaraki had the ability to just murder his father with his own hands, and he had this like euphoria, like because you're a kid, you're not thinking about the ramifications of murder. You're just like watching the single solitary source of all of your stress melt away in front of you, and that becomes a euphoria that he'll never forget. And then, hold on, almost done there. And then, obviously, being picked up by All for One, he feeds that mentality. He's like, "Oh, don't you want that euphoria more? Anyone that bothers you, just kill them immediately. If anyone bothers you, that's their fault." And he feeds into that. So that it's like you said, it's how he's raised. And yeah, I love it. That's about how I continue.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to end that sentence.
No, you're good.
But one last thing I want to point out, and then we'll do predictions and final thoughts here. I love that Hawks is like still teaching twice here. Because, like, the last time we saw them, he was like, man, I don't get all this fucking political structure shit. Explain it to me. And he's like, all right. And now he's, like, literally at a whiteboard, like, okay, here's how it works. That's funny.
But you not hear me laugh?
Yeah.
Bro.
It just took a second. Maybe there was a delay.
We got high-key to big idea ball up there. Because I
yeah, probably.
So, yeah, man. So, shit. I don't really know. The chapter was short, but it was still good. So.
One last thing, I suppose, is we, they get the hint, hospital, right? So, like, I'm trying to remember, like, he's hiding, is he hiding under a hospital? Like, I don't remember that. I suppose that makes sense. They're doing, like, medical shit to him. So I'm guessing, like, that word hospital is to give them, because they asked him, where is Shigaraki hiding? Where's his base? Yada, yada. So maybe that's, like, a hint they need. I don't actually remember where he's hiding exactly.
Would he know the location they're at now, though? Because I mean,
well, it depends on how filled in he is, right? Because like I guess how long has the mist guy? Yeah, that would be weird because I remember like even before when we started My Villain Academia, like the that sub arc of My Hero Academia. They literally started off that arc by saying, like, oh, we lost Kurogiri. Like, so even before all of this shit happened and they rose to this level of power, he was gone. So, unless he has some weird, like, psychic link to Shigaraki, which I could see because it's kind of like, my purpose is to protect Shigaraki. So maybe one of the quirks is, like, this, like, always knowing what's happening with Shigaraki. I could see that. No, of course not. Because last chapter, he was literally, like, he was curious. He was like, what's going on with Shigaraki? So, backpedal on that one. So, yeah, no, I guess you make a good point. The only thing I can think of if he's saying hospital is like maybe he knew of something that they were keeping hidden or secret there. And if it's obvious, please tell me in the comments and I'll either pin your comment or just be like, oh, I was dumb. Give props to this guy.
I'm fucking confused as shit. I don't know. Maybe it's like a fucking maybe it's where he got experimented on, like where he was where he spotted.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah. So he's trying to lead them to like where the Nomu like that was created, and maybe that would like give them a trail to follow.
Yeah, maybe like last place he saw before he was killed and like fucking experimented on and shit.
All right, I dig that. Final thoughts for you, and you want to give your ranking?
An 8, no, 7.5.
Fair.
7.5.
I'm liking this. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
It was a good. It feels like anything higher than 8 would be too high. Keep in mind, the chapter wasn't bad before it was like, oh, you hate the chapter. You hate. Oh, I hear that. Yeah. No, the chapter wasn't bad. It was just a very straightforward chapter, basically. What it was. So
yeah,
that's good.
And for me,
yeah.
I'm liking seeing more character development from Eraserhead, and I'm excited to see, like, we're getting to some endgame feeling stuff here. The fact that he's like, you're going to be so powerful. You're going to be more powerful than All for One. Oh my god, it's kind of terrifying. Like, Shigaraki, the next time we see him, because keep in mind, the last time we saw him, before all this wacky experiment shit, he was melting cities. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's feeling pretty endgame. Like, he's going to just, like, I don't even know where you could go with his power from here. Like, it's terrifying. And, like, when they invade, that's going to be some godly shit.
Some death.
Oh, give me that All Might death. Just put it in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it in my mouth.
You know that shit's going to trend on Twitter when All Might dies.
Oh, yeah, you already know. People are going to... Just like that One Piece was trending.
Oh, yeah. Like 5 times in the past year.
Oh, yeah. It was a great year for One Piece, man.
It was, seriously. Man. But anyway,
right.
I want to let you get to your casino or whatever the fuck. So thank you for filming these. And with that, peace.